Pacha with the weekly Paleo report. It's a day late. Today is August 12th. No, August 11th. And it's Thursday. I usually do these on Wednesday, but I was on the plane all day yesterday, and I'm on a train today. I'm starting out with a little shot from the train. I'm going to do this on the train, but I made it here to Halo, Norway. It's halfway between Oslo and Bergen, and it's looking like a beautiful valley. That is, I'm doing a workshop there in that cabin that I started out with, and this is the valley that we'll be looking over for our healing workshop here in Norway. And it's perfect timing because what? Jupiter is exactly opposite Chiron. Yes, indeed. Oh, that's where I'm staying. I love the grass on the roof. Okay. Anyway. Oh my God. So, yeah, Jupiter was opposite Chiron last November, November 3rd of 2015. And then went retrograde in February. And now it's coming around for the third and final pass, wrapping it up. Yeah. And that's not the only thing. There are so many aspects. I could take the whole Paleo report just giving the aspects this week. Good God. You know, yesterday, but still going on, is Mercury trine Pluto. And the moon is, I think, still in Scorpio, kind of today going into Sagittarius. Yeah, just maybe as I'm speaking. Saturday, moon moves into Capricorn. Before then, you know, today moon is conjuncting with Mars and then coming up to conjoin with Saturn. And oh yeah, so we've got this moon-Mars-Saturn conjunction going on in square to Neptune. You know, Mercury and the moon's nodes, wow, just as Saturn goes direct. So we have Saturn stationing on Saturday going direct, and on that same day, Saturday, Venus. You know, it was square Mars before. I'm glad you made it through the Venus square Mars. Whoa, that was my last workshop. And we felt the Venus square Mars over there in France. Anyway, and no sooner is it done with Mars than Venus comes up to square Saturn on Saturday. And then, since Saturn is square Neptune, Venus opposes Neptune, okay, on Sunday. So, hallelujah, thank God we've got the Sun trine Uranus going on through all of this. And the moon is going to make a grand trine with that Sun, Uranus, moon, all in fire on Saturday. So it's just a lot of moving and a shaking. So let me find a spot before the sun goes down to sit and talk at the camera here, and be right back at you. All right, don't tell the owner, but I had to climb up here on the roof to find a place where there was sun but no wind. So, all right, what is going on? I tell you, so much is going on. It's kind of difficult at times to sort through it, but that's where astrology comes in so handy now, doesn't it? Where to begin with all of this? Let's look at Mars conjoining with Saturn, okay? I mean, the exact conjunction is not till like next week, but it is in effect now, and that can kind of just make things difficult. Mars, Saturn in Sagittarius nonetheless. So, you know we've got Saturn moving through Sagittarius for 2.5 years, and this is a time, the migrations of people. We've got the refugee crisis going on over here, you know, in the European Union, and we've got, you know, what to believe in and who to believe, and, you know, lies and cheats and, you know, gross email stuff in the U.S. You know, this is truth, honesty, where is it going, what is happening, and, you know, this Pluto moving through Capricorn at the same time is creating all kinds of insecurity and financial instability. So there's, the world is changing. We are changing. And Saturn wants to reform. It wants to restructure an expanded belief system. And yet at the same time, what happens when we try to expand? We hit the boundaries and the limits of what has been containing us, of what has been holding us, of old beliefs or old patterns or old conditioning. And so to like break out of that is a challenge. So there can be a return. Okay, there can be a return to the known and the familiar. So, the known and the familiar is patriarchal, male-dominated, the great big trump, the great big father, the great big, one that's going to punish and make things right and make things straight. And, this can be a time of fundamentalism. Saturn moving through Sagittarius, and the same with the bombings and the jihads, and this is a time, and Mars coming around. Mars Saturn is very often associated with war. Because why? Because Saturn can suppress, and here comes Mars. Mars Saturn equals anger. Okay, when Mars in Sag just wants to be free and let loose and let it rip and step out, and here's Saturn going, oh no you don't. You've got to deal with the, with the passport office, with the TSA, or with the, it's just like, wow, there's like all these, so we have to like really gain our energy. And at the same time, this isn't just about now, and it's not just about travel, and it's not about just beliefs. This is, Saturn squaring the moon's nodes. It's exact, I think, October 7th, but it's also there now. And it's squaring Neptune. And this brings in past life dynamics. Okay, this brings in like big karma history, Akashic record kind of stuff. These are big, massive changes, okay, that are, the Mars is just like the second hand of the clock. We can see some changes going on these next couple of weeks here. It's going to be very interesting to see how things either explode or what. Saturn is reform, recommit, okay, to a new, bigger, wider, broader, yes, responsibility, a broader worldview, stepping into the shoes, okay, of Solomon or, King Arthur, or, like really, powerful, benevolent, masculine figures, energy. So this is a time, where it's really time for us to commit to our truth, commit to this new philosophies, new beliefs, new, new ways of being, a new meaning of life. And squaring the node says it's almost a necessity to let go of the past, to let go of, in this case, what? Illusions, addictions, denial, avoidance. And some of that can manifest in terms of, and this is what I was thinking about, and I know that, Neptune and Pisces and a lot of light workers, like to get into this place, where it's all good, Oh, it's all good. Well, it's not all good. I'm sorry. I used to build houses, People make mistakes. We make mistakes, and it's a bitch, and it's a drag when you've got to take the huge beam that you spent 2 hours measuring and cutting, and you put it up on the roof, and you did a wrong measurement, and you got to take it down and do it all over again, okay? Because what? You didn't follow the plan. That's the other thing. You want to go back to your birth chart, because your astrology birth chart is the the blueprint of your soul plan. You got to check the plans, Stan. Make a new plan. Anyway, What I'm saying is, and this is the tricky part here, that there are mistakes, and we make mistakes, and we make commitments, or we make promises, or we make, decisions or choices that are just, a mistake. And what is a mistake? I would say that a mistake in the realm of beliefs, in the realm of wisdom, and in particularly this case, is not knowing yourself and not knowing your boundaries. Pisces and Neptune is infinite, multi-dimensional, spiritual potential. It's very innocent and it's open, and everything goes and everything's okay, and like let's there's no end to the day. Let's party. And Saturn comes along and says, I'm sorry, there's a clock and there's time and you've got responsibilities and you got to go to bed and get your sleep so you can get up and go to work or whatever. So this is a time of realizing our boundaries, realizing our limits, realizing, that we can make mistakes. And sometimes, this leads to what? Saturn is guilt. And we can feel guilty. The north node of the moon, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, all there in Virgo, that wants it right and wants it straight. Can get really self-critical and really self-analytical. So, it's these are tricky waters that we're running, because we can really beat ourselves up and feel so weakened by our own failings that it leads into depression, a sense of hopelessness and despair. It's never going to be good enough. I'm never going to make enough money. I'm never going to be a good enough lover. I'm never going to have the right job. I'm never, the economy's never going to pick up. And I mean, we can just go down, 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 down. So the mature thing to do, Saturn is maturity. It's objectivity. Okay, and it's just like, really, if we move into the place of the witness, or we move into the place of the observer, and this is where the Jupiter opposite Chiron comes in. We may have been awakened to a wound, okay, to a fear, or to a need, or to an issue last November, and then it came up again in February. Something, where, illusions, or, lack of boundaries, or lack of self-knowledge, or innocence, led us into, doing things, or saying things, or promising things, or whatever, And it's from a wounded place that we came. And now Jupiter's coming around, and it's time to, like we said, open up the, we opened it up. Cleaned out all the cancer and all the wound and all the gravel or whatever, if it was, motorcycle accident or something. Get that gravel out of that wound, right? And then sew it up. This is a time of sewing it up. And how do we sew it up? This Jupiter opposite Chiron, this is beautiful. The way to sew it up is forgiveness. Forgiveness. Hello. Everybody makes mistakes. We are all human. And we can try to get out of it. We can try to blame other people. We can try to, just like not take responsibility for it. We can, deny, avoid, escape, whatever. But this is a time, Mars, Saturn, it's like face. Where you've been dishonest, or where you've hidden something, or, where you've made a mistake, or where you bullshitted, or whatever. And stop blaming other people. And this is the thing, forgiveness starts with yourself. You can't really be forgiving other people if you don't forgive yourself. You can't, it's like we learn on ourselves. It's like practice. Practice like, okay, I'm in first grade. I don't know the laws of physics, E equals MC squared. I'm in second grade, first grade, or whatever. I'm sorry. I'm an evolving person. I had old beliefs, or old fears, or old wounds that made me say that, or made me do that. Own it. And then when we own it, we can just say, what? Come on. I'm evolving, I'm growing. Uh-oh, here comes the wind. You know, and I'm changing and I'm improving and da 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 da, and this is how the evolution happens. And so, and then we can also, you know, have that same kind of compassion that we exercise and practice on ourselves. Then we can allow and accept, you know, and let everybody else off the hook, you know, as bad, nasty, wrong, foolish, ignorant, you know, betrayal, abandon, you know, lies, cheats, whatever, you know, it's like, you know, it's part of this process. And here's where we also have to move into what? It's not either or, it's both and more. One of my favorites, if you've been listening to the Pele Report. Yes, there is that it's not all good. We make mistakes and screw up. And it is all good. We're moving from the third dimension to the fourth dimension. We're moving from the yes, no, good, bad, right, wrong into, yes, spirit knowing, union, in Lakesh, I am another you. And so there is this place where the wrong is, what is it? The bad is actually good. Or the mistake can lead to an awareness and a deepening and a maturing and a strengthening that thereby furthers the evolutionary process, which is inevitably or, you know, eventually good. So it's like the bad actually moves and assists the good. This is where we gotta, you know, this is all this Pisces, Neptune in Pisces and Chiron in Pisces. We gotta, you know, I've said it before, we gotta learn to live with the paradox that there are polarized, dualistic, opposite realities that actually do coexist. So in one way, yeah, there is evil, and in another way, there is no evil. We could even look at the chakras. I just finished this workshop on the chakras. Below the sixth chakra, it's dualistic. 2 eyes, nose, 2 arms, you know, 2 genitals, whatever. It all goes down, 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 down. Above that is the single third eye and the single crown chakra. I could show you if it wasn't freezing out here. I don't know what I'm going to do around here, man. I want to thank Dolph, you know, for the sweatshirt, Inga for the shirt underneath it, and I was also gifted this scarf otherwise. Where was I, man? Yeah, so you know, these you know, quantum physics and Newtonian physics. Yeah, there's a time and a place for each of them. It depends on what you're studying. So we're in this place. Let me just get this over with. It's late, man. The mantra then for this week. It's time to be responsible. It's time to take a stand. And whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, I'll try again and again. Responsible, the ability to respond. And that responding to the, you know, these are all immutable signs, right? This whole Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune nodes T-square. It's in these mutable signs. Adapt. Change. So, you know, this is about trying again, letting yourself off the hook, letting your, you know, partners and beautiful other people off the hook. Stop blaming, stop projecting your shadow stuff, start owning it, start forgiving, start having compassion, and change and mutate and evolve, you know, into these the higher vibrations, man. You know what I'm talking about. And it takes practice. Practice. Mars. So Mars Saturn this is an opportunity. We're going to be hitting the wall. We're going to be bumping up against external authorities. We're going to be bumping up against limitations. We're going to be bumping up against our own lack of energy or our own lack of willpower, or, we're bumping up against the boundaries now. Mars, Saturn, boom, 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 boom. Let me through. Break down that door, yeah? And so it's just like try again and try again. And you know what? If you're going to make a mistake, make a mistake. Good God, man. Virgo can get like a little too much. This Jupiter North Node, I got to say, healing comes, through acceptance and chilling out and making mistakes. And, you fall off the bike, you get up and you ride again, right? So I encourage you, keep going for it. Keep going for it, even in the midst of, all this bullshit that's going down around here. It's like we got to hang in there and know that, yeah, sometimes we're learning the hard way, but we're learning. And, and it's going to be good in the end. And the end is a long way off. Long way. It's time to be responsible. It's time to take a stand. And whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, I'll try again and again. May you have the energy to keep on banging, baby. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.